Hi guys, welcome to my podcast. My name is Nicole and I'm the brains and the beauty behind Yarncraft by Nicole. We're trying a slightly different way of filming this week, so let me know if it looks a little blurry or something like that. Also, Scoot is right next to me on the floor. A squirrel has just run by her back window, so if a lot of barking happens suddenly, you know what's going on. Alright, so today I've got on my Amelie, I think it's Emily, Emily with an A, Amelie, sweater from LeRoo Crochet. I love this sweater. It's very cozy. It's more neutral than I usually go, but I think because it's kind of warm tones neutral, that's what I gravitate towards. I want to make another one of these sweaters, maybe with a less dramatic sleeve, maybe in a worsted weight instead of a DK, but I love this sweater. In Michigan, it has not quite decided if it wants to be spring yet. So this was good today when it was 36 degrees when I was walking Scoot this morning. So I love this. I used Wonderland yarns. The variegated color is called Scent of Old Books. And this kind of syrup honey color is called Treacle. So I like the sweater a lot. Made it, I think, right at the beginning of last year. And it's super cozy. All right, I've got a lot of things to show you. I guess I'll start. I only have one finished object and I'm going to take it apart. So I guess I'll start with that. This is the one thing that I finished. It's very cute. We'll see if it'll focus. There we go. It is a version of the Elmore slouch hat from TL Yarncrafts. I made it in a DK yarn, so it was a little change because of that. I used a yarn I got from Five Boroughs Yarns. It was part of their Marvel crafters to assemble collection, and I like it a lot, but I'll show you why I'm going to remake it. One, it's for my husband. There we go. And I used too big of a Tunisian hook. I don't know if you can see it on here, but like when I'm wearing it, it's just a little bit too stretched out, and he doesn't have the glorious mane that I have, so it's just not gonna be warm enough. So having said that, what I plan on doing, since this is a bottom up hat, is I'll just take it back down to the ribbing and then remake it in a smaller size hook. This took me like a day to do. It was a nice kind of mindless project that I worked at the Midwest Craftcon, which I really enjoyed. So I don't mind redoing it. I have plenty of yarn left over to make it what I want. And what I think I can get away with is finish making him a hat and then making me a headband or something like that, and then taking a cute picture together. I think that would be adorable. It's the colorway of this is Higher, Further, Faster. I don't think they still sell this yarn. It was part of a collection, so we're big Marvel fans. He's a big Captain Marvel fan, so I think this could be cute, but I am going to take it apart. The other thing that I worked on in Midwest Craftcon, besides my crafty business game, is I started working on what I think will become the Honeymooner tee. I've got the Honeymooner wrap, which will be coming out on April 21st. My testers are wrapping that up the end of next week. But I really like the stitch pattern, and I wanted to make either a tee or a cardigan. Originally, I started with a cardigan. I was going to do a bottom-up design. But as I was making it, I'm like, this is way too similar to another pattern that I know of. Like, it just is. Regardless of the fact that I thought I was using my own stitch pattern here, the stitch pattern's new, but the construction, like, it was way too similar. And I was like, well, then I don't want to make something that someone else has made, because that's not fair to them or me. So I decided to start a top-down version. I don't know if you can see in there, if it'll focus on. Maybe yes, maybe no. There we go. So this would be the neckline, that's the back. And I'm thinking that it'll be like a V-neck tee. There's barely anything of this done, but it was a good way for me to work on something that'll eventually become a pattern. I have a lot of pattern tests going right now of things I'm working on for other designers, and it was good to just not take any of that with me, just do things that are small or things that stretch my creative brain. So this will eventually become something, but it doesn't need to become anything right this second. So those are two things that I did at Midwest Craftcon. And when I came back, I came back to work on this. So this cardigan, I do love this cardigan. I am also ready for it to be done, just because it's a lot of the same repeat, which is not a bad thing. It's gonna go with so many things. But my Frosted Pathways Cardi, literally I will finish it this weekend. So I am down one complete sleeve. Will you focus? Good. And then I am almost done with the second sleeve. And yeah, then I'll be done, because there's not a border or anything at the bottom. Excuse me. I like this a lot. I really like the way that this cuff came out, because like it fits around my wrist, whereas a lot of the sweaters I make either too long or too short. I'm very happy with the fit of this. I love the yarns I'm using. The main color is called Victoria China from Wonderland. The accent color is from Malabrigo. I don't remember the name, but I'm sure I can find it. So yeah, I like this a lot. It's so close to be done. By the time I see you next time, I might be wearing it, which is good because I think it's due next week. So kind of down to the wire on this one, but I like this a lot. I'm very happy with it. I'm so close to being done. The other pattern test I'm currently working on, not the only other one I'm signed up to be working on, but the only one that I'm currently working on is, that's the back, is the Peony Peplum Dress. I started working on this sleeve. They're gonna be, I haven't quite decided how long I want the sleeves to be, because I just said you can go until you want the sleeves to be done. So maybe to my elbow, maybe a little beyond that. I haven't quite decided, but I'm really liking this. This is using Panoramic from Big Twist Yarns. If you will focus, that will be, thank you. In the color Mint. And then I've got some oranges that I'm going to do at the bottom of this as well. It took one full cake for me to make an extra large of just the top, and then I added in the second cake for the sleeve. So I have 4 cakes of the mint color and then one each of the 2 yarn color, or the 2 orange colors. The other thing that I started, I have no business starting things, but I've started something else. Well, that's not true. I do have business starting things because we have a lot of friends that are expecting babies, which is great. And I am very behind on making them baby blankets. So there's a couple that is due in May that I had not started their baby blanket until this past week. So I wanted it to be kind of Lego inspired. What do we think? Did I do it? I'm pretty happy with it. It's Tunisian crochet. It is an offset block stitch, and I really like it. These are the 4 colors that'll be in it. I'll just repeat those colors probably until I run out or until it's the size I want. Then I imagine I'll do a black border all the way around, but I'm happy with that. I just need to do it. And the yarn for this is a little bit thicker than I usually use. It is a chunky, which will help it go fast, but also it's just kind of wearing my hands out on the Tunisian. So yeah, I'm happy about that. Very happy with that one. Kind of a Lego, and I don't have a pattern for that. I looked at tons of Tony Lipsy's Tunisian tutorials. She's got one for the block stitch. She has one for the brick stitch. I kind of combined those two, but it was easy enough. It was easy enough to do. I like that a lot. I think that's all that I'm currently working on. However, I did buy yarn for the other 2 pattern tests that I'm signed up to do that I'm not allowed to start until I finish the cardigan. So the first one, oh, the other thing I did buy yarn when I went to Midwest Craftcon, which I'll talk about at the end of the episode. So at Midwest Craftcon, I Explore Local Yarn Store. This one was a hybrid of yarn and fabric. It was called So to Speak, S-E-W to speak. And they have more fabric than they had yarn, but I did find these and they are very cute. They kind of remind me of pansies. I've used a mini bundle like this from Woolstock before to do a granny square table runner or like a centerpiece. So I'm not really sure what this will become yet. Honestly, it'd be a pretty wrap or a scarf of some kind. I don't know, but the color spoke to me, and so I picked this up there. And that's the only yarn I bought when I was in Columbus. There was another yarn store that I wanted to go to, and I probably should have gone to the day I went to So to Speak, because then they were closed the other time that I had free time. And I was like, man, I think that place had more yarn. But that's okay. Now let's get into some other goodies. So I have, again, I'm ridiculous and crazy, and I have 4 pattern tests that I'm currently signed up to do that aren't finished, and 2 of them aren't started. So the cardi is about to be done. The dress will be fine. And then the other 2 that I haven't started yet, I think will go pretty quickly, but I gotta finish the cardi first. So one of the ones that I'm doing is a top called the Acai top from Mara Makes Stuff, and it calls for a DK weight or a light worsted, and so I got this color, if it will focus. There you go. 24/7 cotton from Lion Brand. This is the color Grass. I think this will be very pretty. I wanted something bright green, and using a budget yarn on the top allowed me to spend a little bit more on the other thing I'm going to make that I'm going to talk about in a second. Whenever I sign up for a lot of pattern tests, I try to balance my budget, basically. If I'm going to do something really expensive, then the next one needs to be very budget friendly. The cardi right here, I was gifted the yarn for the main body from Wonderland Yarns, which is awesome. Love them for that. And so the only yarn I had to buy was this skein. For this dress, the Peony Peplum Dress, this is a very budget friendly yarn. I think this was like, I don't think you have a tag on anywhere. Might have been $8 a cake, and each cake has much yarn. 656 yards. So you get a lot of bang for your buck there. So this is another budget friendly yarn. I wanted something in cotton for that pattern test because it's like a short sleeve, kind of off the shoulder if you want it to be easy flowy top, perfect for summer. I've used this before for a tank top for someone else, and I really liked the way that it worked up. It's got great stitch definition because it is a chainette yarn. And so it's all gonna be one color. It'll be green. Be bright, happy. I'm excited about that. The other yarn I bought, I literally bought this morning, and it is for a fade cardi. She's calling it a cardi, but it's kind of more like a vest because it's made in panels and it doesn't really have sleeves. Like, it kind of has a drop shoulder, but not really sleeves. It's called the Understory cardigan. And I already had these 2 yarns in my stash. So I had this yarn that I bought on clearance from Spun, and then this originally I was gonna put into, what was I gonna put this into? Don't remember. I bought it for another project, and then once I took it home and put it with the other yarns in that project, I was like, it's too stark. I don't like it. So it's just been sitting in my stash, and I don't remember the yarn for this, but I will be happy to look that up. So I knew I had these 2 colors, and I was gonna need 8 total colors for a fade. And so I was like, okay, well, let's do this. This will be my expensive pattern test. And honestly, after all of these pattern tests that I've signed up at the beginning of the year, I will be taking a break from them after this set is done, at least for sweaters, just because they take so long. And there's some of my own designing I want to do. So I decided I can splurge a little bit more on this one. So like I said, had these 2 colors I knew I wanted to use. I took them with me to Spun and then played with colors until I was happy. So let me show you what they are all gonna look like together and make sure that I actually put them in the right fade order. It's a lot of yarn, y'all. Ta-da! Let's too much for me to hold in my hands. Just remember that the last color is like a navy blue. Well, I'll just kind of hold them up to you like this. Kind of a really dreamy, oh hey Scoot, color palette that I am excited about. It feels romantic, it feels sweet. I like it. What I have noticed about myself recently is that I don't hate neutrals or pastels. I feel like I kind of have a rap of like, oh, she's gonna pick a wild color to do something with. I do love a wild color. But as long as there is some depth to what I'm working with, I'm happy as a client. Like, I wear this sweater all the time. It goes well with my complexion, it goes well with my hair. It's comfy, it's cozy, but it's not boring. Like, to me, it still has enough pizzazz. Whereas there's a couple of pieces that I've made that have been really, you know, more basic, more neutrals, and I just don't wear them as often. And that's not a knock against the colors, it's just not my preference. So I'm really happy with all of this goodness. It's gonna be so pretty. Look at it. The yarns I have here, the original skein is from Primrose, and then kind of going from dark to light, we've got two Fyberspates Vivacious Decay colors, and then the rest of these are from Fiberstory. Fiberstory is very cool. They're out of Michigan, and I had not used them before moving here, but these are all from Fiberstory, and they all have cute names. Like, this one is called Patchwork. This one is called, excuse me, Sweetly. This one is called Sweets. And then this one is called Cake. So it's gonna be a very pretty cardigan. Very excited about all of that. And then we'll probably go on a yarn diet and do some designing what I already have in my stash for the foreseeable future. So with all of that to say, what I can't let go of this week as we wrap up this yarn chat is the Midwest Craftcon. I had a ton of fun. It gave me some perspective about what I want my business to look like going forward. It gave me some wonderful buddies. It was so easy to make friends there. That was something I was worried about because I went by myself. The staff was super awesome. The talks were amazing. I have a notebook full of notes of things that I want to implement, and it was just fun to be around other makers. So I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was a great weekend. I just did 3 blog posts on my blog, that's at yarncraftbynicole.com, explaining like kind of day by day what I did, because when I went to the conference, I wasn't really sure what to expect. I had never been, I didn't really know anybody that had been, so I went into it a little bit blind. And so if you're interested in doing that and you're in the Midwest, now you can have a little bit of a feel for what it might be like for you going forward. And with that, guys, I will sign off, and I will see you right back here next week. Have a great rest of your week and your weekend. Get in some crocheting or some knitting time, and I'll see you right back here. Bye.